Okay, this is probably going to be the second time I attempt to make the video and hope that the phone doesn't ring again or someone rings the doorbell, which has happened already. Anyway, I was going to make a video about the Fight Night card, but I didn't get the time to do it because I haven't seen the Fight Night card. Plus, being in England and the time difference and all of that, and torrents and Satana hasn't got it on the TV yet. So, I was thinking for a topic of the video, and I was thinking about the Ultimate Fighter coming up, the season 9 team UK versus team America. I was thinking about that, and then it was actually making me think about when the WWE used to have Tough Enough, that show that they used to have with the contestants fighting, working towards getting a WWE contract. And I was thinking about it, and they did four seasons of it, if I'm correct. And then they stopped doing them after 2004, and never really thought of bringing the idea back. And then there were some rumors going around on the internet, and of course it's speculation that they might bring Tough Enough back uh, onto their TV programming. And thinking about that, I was wondering if that would be a good idea. Now, if you go back, in theory, at the time they did it, it was quite a good idea because reality TV was going through this just big boom, and reality TV was just this big media monster. Over here, we had shows like Big Brother, which were just creating celebrities and things like X Factor and Pop Stars and Pop Idol. And financially, in the short term, it was creating something, and some of them were long term stars. That's questionable. Anyway, when the WWE did it, it sounds like a good idea. You put 16 contestants, you eventually get to the winner, the two winners, sorry, and you've more or less created two stars. But there was a problem with that, and when you go back through all the tough enoughs, here's what the problem was. You can't teach the wrestling business and all the skills and the attributes to be a professional wrestler and be put on television and everything else that you need in the space of 10 weeks and expect them to be successful. Maven, if you remember, won the first one, and they kind of had to just keep him on TV. They had to keep him hot because he was over with the people who watched the show, so he was getting reacted to. But he wasn't actually ready to be put on TV and used in the way that he was. And that was like a double-edged sword for them because they needed to capitalize on his momentum, but at the same time, he just wasn't ready to be there. And then the same thing with Nydia as well. And in the end, they sent her to developmental. We didn't see her on TV for a year. And then when they went to number two, it was Jackie and Linda Miles. Yeah, Linda Miles. Yeah, Jackie and Linda Miles, and it was kind of the same thing. And if you remember, Jackie had that piss poor wrestling match, and that's not her fault. That's really because they wanted to capitalize on the TV exposure she got from MTV Tough Enough. But she gets thrown right into the gist of it, and can't really have the kind of match at her skill level at that time. And then Linda Miles was put on television and just had no clue really. She had the marketable look, she looked the part and had a gimmick, but it just didn't work. And then when we got to number three, I think they kind of understood the problem with the first two. And when Matt Cappotelli and John Hennigan both won, instead of throwing it, well, they gave them one match on Raw, which was about 5 minutes, which you can find, excuse me, on YouTube somewhere. But what I noticed they did is, as soon as the show was finished, despite however popular they were or becoming, or how badly people wanted to see them, they knew they needed to be sent somewhere else where the environment was less pressurable and they could train and learn at their own pace. So they sent them to OVW. And unfortunately, they couldn't capitalize on the popularity they had from the show. But in the long run, it helped them become better wrestlers for the future, which is what they should be doing for the future. And we didn't see John Hennigan, who then became Johnny Nitro, until about 2004 when he debuted with Eric Bischoff, and then they took him off of Raw after about 3 months because they still felt he was green. And in the meantime, he went back, developed, became a member of Eminem, and then the rest is history. But when you think about it, it took John what 4 or 5 years to actually become adequate, and now 2009 he's actually really getting good. So really, you're looking at the space of, my maths is awful by the way, guys. What, 5 to 7 years before he can really become good or become adequate and be ready to be used on TV to such a level. And then when we went to number 4, it's the same problem. Uh, the Miz really should have won that show. Let's be honest. He had the training and everything else, but what happened was what Daniel Puder did with the Kurt Angle thing actually really got him over, even though it was a shoot. I mean, it got him over, it got people's attention, and then he was more or less the favourite to win after that. But the problem is, Puder was popular, people reacted to him, but he just wasn't ready to be put on TV almost right after the contest after 9.5 weeks of training. And the format for that show actually wasn't very good because we couldn't see how good or truly good they were. Instead, we were just seeing them having pie eating contests and sex tests, which, yeah, was just stupid. And in the end, they just sent Puder to developmental, and then we never really saw him again. He got released. He was in OVW, but he just wasn't ready, and then they dropped the idea altogether. But now the rumours of bringing back Tough Enough are starting to circulate, and it's speculation, you never know. If they're going to bring back Tough Enough, then they need to change some of the formats. And I think it would be a better idea, instead of taking people who have had absolutely no training whatsoever, which is what they've been doing, putting them on this TV program. They become very popular out of this, program and their exposure, and then taking them off TV for 2.5 years and then putting them back on again. Instead, I think what they should do is they should probably search the independents, all that dreaded word, independents. They should probably get the best of the best that they think they can use on the independents, because they probably have a better understanding of the business, and then put them on the show and then go from there. Because at least then you'll have someone who is ready right after the show, rather than having someone that's got 10 weeks and then is like having crap matches basically and just looking lost on the camera. So anyway, that was just a video about Tough Enough and the format. And in the long run, actually, that would be a much better idea. I've been harping on for ages about WWE needing to create new stars, and they do need to create new stars. Maybe using Tough Enough, but in the format of using already trained wrestlers, maybe getting a Bryan Danielson and an Eric Stevens and Austin Aries and a Jimmy Rave and guys like that, putting them on the show, and then letting the fans kind of vote from there, may work a lot better in the long run. So anyway, that was just a video. I kind of rambled a bit of a sore chest at the moment, some pain. So let me know what you think. Video responses, texts, or anything. So anyway, I'm out. Bye.